The year is 1789. France is in crisis. Behind the beauty of its grand palaces and royal fashion lies a country falling apart. Most people are poor and hungry, while the king and the nobility live in extreme wealth. The government is deep in debt from years of war and careless spending. Prices are rising. Jobs are disappearing. Families can't afford even a loaf of bread. The people are angry. They feel ignored, unheard, and tired of a system that favors the rich and punishes the poor. Tension fills the air. Change is coming. From this pain and pressure, something powerful is about to begin. A movement that will shake the world. A revolution that will bring new ideas, new leaders, and a new France.
Welcome to Chrono Wis. Dive into history with me. Your time here will be worth it. Let's get started.
This was not just a rebellion. The French Revolution was a powerful cry for justice. For too long, the people of France had suffered while the rich lived in comfort. They were tired of unfair taxes, of being treated like they didn't matter. They wanted something bigger than bread. They wanted freedom. They wanted fairness. They wanted unity. These three words, liberty, equality, fraternity, became their battle cry. Liberty meant freedom from kings and unfair laws. Equality meant no more special treatment for the rich. Fraternity meant that all people should stand together as one. These ideas lit a fire in the hearts of the people, one that could not be put out. By 1789, France was running out of money. The country was deeply in debt from years of war, including helping the American Revolution. The people were starving, and the government was nearly broke. To solve this crisis, King Louis XVI called a meeting called the Estates General, something that hadn't happened in over 170 years. The Estates General was made up of three groups: the First Estate, the church leaders, the Second Estate, the nobles, and the Third Estate, the common people who made up over 90% of the population. But there was a big problem. Each estate only had one vote, even though the Third Estate had the most people. This meant the rich and powerful could still outvote the commoners. The Third Estate had had enough. They refused to be ignored any longer. They left the meeting and gathered on their own. There they made a bold move. They called themselves the National Assembly and promised to write a new constitution for France. This was the first real step toward revolution. After walking out of the Estates General, the members of the Third Estate gathered in a nearby tennis court. There, they made a powerful promise known as the Tennis Court Oath. They swore that they would not give up until France had a new constitution, a new set of rules to protect the people's rights. The people of Paris were inspired, but they were also scared. Rumors were spreading that the king was going to send soldiers to shut down the National Assembly. On July 14th, 1789, thousands of Parisians marched to the Bastille, a huge prison that had become a symbol of royal power and fear. They believed weapons were stored inside. They stormed the prison, fought the guards, and took it over. It was more than just the fall of a building. It was the fall of fear. A symbol of the king's control had been destroyed. The storming of the Bastille became a turning point in the revolution. It showed the people's strength. It marked the beginning of the end for the old system of kings and nobles. This moment was not just about a building. It was about hope, freedom, and the birth of a new France. After the fall of the Bastille, France changed quickly. The people rose up, and the old system began to fall apart. In 1792, the monarchy was abolished. The king would no longer rule France. The country would now be a republic, ruled by the people, not by royalty. King Louis XVI was put on trial for treason, betraying his own country. He was found guilty. On January 21st, 1793, the king was executed by the guillotine, a machine made for quick, deadly punishment. The crowd cheered. The king was gone. Just months later, Queen Marie Antoinette was also executed. The royal family had fallen. But what followed was not peace, it was fear. A time known as the Reign of Terror. A revolutionary leader named Robespierre took control. He believed that anyone who went against the revolution should be punished, sometimes even killed. Thousands were arrested. Many were executed. Even people who had once helped the revolution were now seen as enemies. It was as if the revolution was eating itself. In the end, Robespierre lost control. He was arrested and executed, the very same fate he had given to so many others. Even in the middle of chaos and bloodshed, powerful ideas began to grow. Ideas that would change the world. In August 1789, the revolutionaries wrote a bold and beautiful document called the Declaration of the Rights of Man and of the Citizen. It said that all men are born free and equal, that everyone has rights, like freedom of speech, freedom of religion, and protection under the law. For the first time, the idea of citizenship became more important than birth or title. It didn't matter if you were rich or poor. What mattered was that you were a person and you had rights. The French Revolution didn't just change one country, it changed the world. It shook the thrones of kings and queens. It gave voice to the people, and it planted the seeds of freedom, equality, and justice that still grow today. The revolution's message still lives on, in every protest for freedom, in every demand for fair treatment, in every place where people rise up to be heard. This was not just France's revolution, it was the world's. Subscribe to Chrono Wis for more powerful stories that shaped our world.